This is Heart to Heart with Sibongile Mofokeng on Radio Pulpit. Heart to Heart.
If you're watching us on Facebook, you know I'm not alone in the studio. But before I greet her, that was Keke Pofolo Kidumeti. And before it was King D Music, Oh Holy Night. You're on Heart to Heart. My name is Sibongile Mofokeng. And I'm with another Sibo in the studio. You're such an honor. Let me start by saying first, family, we are truly grateful for your support during our videothon last week. And you make it possible for us to continue to bring a message of truth and hope in a world that we are living in. So thank you so much. May the Lord bless you. May He give you 100-fold for what you have given. And may He continuously continue to give because you're giving to the generations. And so may that seed continuously continue to yield fruits for you. But we'd like to say for those who missed out on our videothon last week and still want to give, please send us an SMS with the word give to 37871 followed by your name and the amount you wish to give, or you can send us a WhatsApp on 0826572729. Remember that, family, we are in this together, and so together we can build a brighter future for our families and for the future generation. Talking about families, I am really honored to also today to be talking to this awesome queen back in studio. Bantu bayathriva yazi. Ndlovukazi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
What time did you leave home today?
Yeah, I think, no, I had to travel, cross 6 borders just to come to this side of the equator.
And I remember saying to you, Mara, you can connect, we can be on Facebook together.
You know.
But then Ndlovukazi, it's like, no, I want to be there.
No, I need to be here. I need to, need to be here.
I need to touch this mic.
Please.
So, family, we're welcoming Dr. Sibo Mkhize. And today we are also ministering into family. We're talking about the gift of forgiveness in the family. I'm thinking about some of the people who have sisters and brothers whom they are not talking to
them.
Yeah. I wonder, if I'm not talking to you and you're my brother, how do I get by?
Unfortunately, that is true. A lot of people within their family structures, they don't talk to each other. And half the time, when we actually sit down and figure it out, it's quite some of the most pettiest things ever. Sibling rivalry, ego, and they just decide no, then you are very toxic.
Where does it
I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to you.
Is it how people grew up, maybe?
Some of them,
okay.
But I mean, in all honesty, we all have sibling rivalry. At some point, we're going to fight about one thing or the other, But once we start growing now, some of those sibling rivalry, they turn into now a serious, issues. But when you actually go backwards, where did this thing start? They don't even remember half the time. They don't even remember.
But
and
we started.
Now that is also now passed down to their kids, now to their grandkids, and now, it's Christmas. It's time for family. So we need to forgive. The power of forgiveness. That's why I say it's a gift of forgiveness within the family. At this day and age, if you don't have your family, you actually have nobody.
Yeah.
You actually have nobody. We all need that structure. We all need support. We all need love. And what better place to get it at home?
I'm reminded of a time where my brother and their church went to bury someone who was alone.
Ouch.
And I remember my mom asking my brother, where is his family? And my brother said, we don't know. It seems like they disowned him.
How sad
and
is that?
Some of the church members tried to call to say so-and-so is sick at first, but nobody came through. And it's for us who are coming out from families, it's a strange thing to see.
A very strange thing. And we never get used to it. As many as so many families that really don't speak to each other or have disowned and could never really understand that term of disowning a family member, but nevertheless it does happen. But we never really get used to it, to show that it is an uncommon practice. We should not be doing that. How do you throw away your family? So we're always going to be asking, like, okay, where is so and so? Where is their family? Even never mind funerals, even at weddings, at celebratory moments, we always ask, where is the family? And like, the family is not there. It's very weird. It's very, very strange.
Should we be going back to the adults? Those who've been there before, to say you should have played a certain role to make sure that this doesn't come to where it's at. I'm just thinking about what you spoke about. You said their grandchildren now are not talking to each other because the grandmothers, I don't know if granddads do that, but I've seen. I'm sorry, grandmothers. I'm sorry. I'm going to say
so. It's commonly amongst the
women.
female.
Women. So I'm asking myself if granddads do that, or if uncles do that, where they don't talk to each other. Yes, they might be angry with each other, but they will make up and then start walking together. But when it comes to grandmothers and aunts and
no, they really got it bad. Unfortunately, we wish we could say something different, but it is predominantly.
But now, who's supposed to be fixing that?
We go back to the elders, because when you as an adult, you're the one that's supposed to reprimand. Let's say there is a mother and the two sisters, they don't get along. There is an adult to reprimand both of you without taking any sides, because half the time is like, you took this one side, you took this one side. But now as we grow, these two now have moved or gone their different directions. Even now they are men or they are husbands. Now they're also now taking sides, and they teach their kids the same thing. And so it keeps going on. So now you've got two sisters that are not talking, but look at the generation.
So what happens here? So the other generation, the first generation, will poison the coming generation.
The coming generation.
Or is it that, no, the children are like, no, my mother doesn't talk to their mother, so I'm not going to
talk to them either. Without even knowing what the story is. Like, I'm not going to talk to them either. This is how we grew up. Like, when you ask them, so why isn't your mother talking to my mother? I don't know. I just grew up like that. They were just not talking, and unfortunately, it poisons the rest. Like you said, it poisons the rest of the tree. And now tomorrow you've got your child and that one's child. They're in the same school, but they're not even speaking to each other. Some, they don't even know that they're even related. It is quite bad, and it's actually very sad, because we need to, the whole foundation of a family, this is where we get our morals from, this is where we got our support from, this is how we know how things to be done. But now, if you now don't have a family, or there's a family feud, and most of them in my practice that we get, when we actually go back, it literally is sibling rivalry. Jealousy comes into picture. We find that there's a lot of jealousy, and there's a lot of comparison within the adults. Love your child for your child. Stop comparing kids, because that also
So I would hate
friction.
you because mom loves you more.
Yes, it's a real thing.
Sure.
And why does
And then
mom
we
love you
grow up
more?
with it.
And the actions that mom are showing, it's showing love towards this one child more than the other ones. And as much as you can say, typically this is the answer, I love all of my children. Yeah, you love all of your children, but you show more affection to this one child. So that also creates animosity within the family system. And as they grow up, you find that this one child who was loved by mom is still adored by mom, and this one fights with everybody. He's fighting with mom because you never cared for me, you never loved me, you were never there, and fights with the sister. No, you always the goody two shoes, so I'm not good enough.
Are we aware of what happens to a person who's a loner, who has no one? Are we really aware of that? I come from a place where in my on my in my street.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right word. Yeah, but we have somebody who lives alone. This guy just lives alone. And I remember him calling my mom and saying, "No, I'm just checking on you. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen your daughter coming in or your son. And I was wondering if you're okay. I just wanted you to know that you're my mom now."
Oh,
And he decided to adopt my mom as mom because mom would
yes.
check up on him.
Oh.
So sometimes we're like, but is he okay? Why is that? Why is that? It has been so quiet.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't seen him.
Mm.
But now the community is caring about that person. But I wonder if we as families are aware that if we don't take care of another, if we don't take care of each other, the kind of consequences that might happen, the kind of mental health that person might have for being alone.
Most of the
Or
time,
we don't care?
We actually, not even necessarily that we don't care, but time is the biggest problem that we have. We always seem to think we have time. We never, even if I disown you, my thoughts will never be that you're going to die tomorrow. So I'm disowning you with the fact that one day you're going to come back, with the tail between your legs and come and grovel at my feet for forgiveness. Then you're back in the family structure. But things do happen. So nobody ever does the other. Even when families don't talk to each other, it's never to, especially now we're talking about really sibling rivalry, silly things. There are some families that are very toxic, but right now we're just talking about just get along. Get along with your family.
Let love flourish in that
Let's have
space.
peace.
Yeah.
But now you'll find that they never really think that the other person will actually die. So time
And
more
you
than they
never
actually don't
know.
care.
And you never
once
know.
that person is gone, they cry the loudest. So they actually did care, but pride and ego just
Because there's
separated them.
unfinished business
Yeah.
with that person.
Yes,
We
and
could have made up.
I'm not gonna humble myself to you. Why should I? You're mommy's favorite pet, so I'm not gonna do
What
that.
about those ones with real problems?
Those
Like
ones?
scary ones where you're like, yo, I never
You
thought
know,
in a family this
would
would
happen.
Yeah.
Those ones, this is why now where therapy really comes to play a big role, because
Okay.
there are, to such an extent that we would, even as much as we're trying to put families together, there are some people will tell them that you need to leave that family. That space is very toxic for you, looking at morality, because now we have to be the one that puts you in the right space to decide if this place is good for you. So some of them will tell them that, listen, if you are being abused on a daily basis with the children, if you're being sexually abused on a daily basis, you cannot stay in that environment for the sake of family. You can't do that. I mean, I've got lots of daughters.
Yeah.
Guys, Dr. Sibo is a mother to a whole entire nation. So
Yeah.
I've got plenty of children. And if I may share a story, one of my daughters was actually molested by the father.
Ish.
But instead of the mother who knew what was happening and actually
protect.
beat her up because there were stains on the bed, and she left them there because she said, Mom, I want you to see this is what's actually been happening. And the mother went ballistic and beat her up and said, listen, you are trying to take my husband away from me.
Aibo.
I hate you and I want you out of my house.
Aibo.
We had to work with this young lady and we took her to the police station. The husband was arrested. The mother never spoke to the daughter ever again, only to find out that she was actually pregnant with her father's child. And we had to now find foster homes for her, to take her. Now the child comes out looking exactly like her. And the mother only now comes back and say, well, I actually see that I was wrong and I'm sorry, let's try and make peace. And we said, okay, go. And, she was taken by emotions at that point in time. Then it's time you guys sat down and then you made the peace. But as soon as the child came, the mother started going ballistic again. Like, I am going to kill this child. This child is a child of your promiscuity.
Aibo.
So there are some families where, for the protection
I think
of that individual, they
in
need
that
to be taken
matter,
out.
I think in that matter we are dealing with a lot of mental illnesses right there.
In a big way. The mother became psychosis,
Yeah.
and she turned to alcohol to try and numb out of what had happened. This young lady also went a different direction, and she almost turned herself into the streets, because where else was she going to do? So thank God, because we do have facilities in South Africa that can actually, take in these
And
young ladies
assist.
and assist them.
Yeah.
So when she came to us, already her life was in a different direction. So we had to do everything that we can to actually take even that young lady, the baby. It's a baby girl. Now we had to take care of that baby, make sure that it does not go to Coco, because Coco has already said,
And I'm just thinking,
You
as
did.
as time goes on, she grows up and, eish, bomani man.
yeah. And we are going to say, and that's when we
Yeah,
asked her,
bomani.
where's the rest of your family? Because you speak of your mother. Yes, she kicked you
I'm
out.
also thinking when I say bomani, Dr. Sibo, I'm thinking of mamncane, or auntie who would
But-
say, phela wena, you are a daughter of,
Yes.
and the child finds out.
And that's the environment that we
Already
created.
another thing
Yeah.
is born in that
In that
child
child.
for the rest of her life.
So thankfully,
May the Lord
because
help our
we were
families.
present in that moment, so we had professionals to sit down with the child, so she does know who her father is. So we had to
Okay.
sit down and professionally and take her
Help
through
her.
everything and help
And
her
I think
out.
it's a daily journey for
It
her.
is a daily journey, and the mother had to relive all of that, because now having to explain what had happened. So now you've got the grandmother who's also now had to relive this situation. It's how they both handled
The mother has to
that
relive.
situation that
Sure.
makes the big difference, because this one is still a child. She can be monitored and she will continue with therapy. Eventually she's going to be okay, because she still has questions, but that's normal. The mother, we need to rehabilitate the mother so that we can get her back to herself, because
Even
she
the
really,
grandmother.
under circumstances, she had to, now, if I may say so, prostitute herself,
Eish.
in order to make the means for this child.
All right.
But now, having to tell the story over and over again, she has to relive that moment.
Sure. Dr. Mkhize, let's take a break. And then when we come back, let's talk to couples as well. I know there are couples who
Yes.
are going through some of them don't even speak to each other.
Yeah, for 32 years, they don't speak to each other, but they married. Kanjani?
Okay. Those ones for 32 years. But there are those ones for about the whole month of November, nje. Just the whole month of November and the beginning of December. So we write each other. We talk via WhatsApp. And so let's talk to both those couples when we come back. But hey, Lord, please help our families.
Please help
Make a joyful noise, people of the Lord. Shout yeah! Shout yeah! Shout yeah!
Radio Pulpit 657 AM, your daily companion through thick and thin. Download our mobile app or visit radiopulpit.co.za.
Hlala umamele umhlobo wakho wemihla ngemihla. Fumana i-app yethu kwi-App Store okanye kwi-Play Store. Kungenjalo, hakamshelana nathi ku-radiopulpit.co.za.
The Bible teaches us that we must build one another up in love. And here at Radio Pulpit and Radio K Pulpit, we encourage mutual love and respect in a country of diversity. Help us to continue building strong and unified communities by sending an SMS with the word GIVE and the amount you wish to give to 37871. Standard rates apply.
You're on Radio Pulpit, your daily companion, 657 AM. This is where you add on Heart to Heart with me, Sibongile Mofokeng. With you up until 3 o'clock, give you the sounds of Apostle Jethro Malinzi's I Love Somebody. And this is what we are carrying today. That's the message we have with Dr. Sibo Mkhize in studio. We say, love somebody, love your family.
Love your family.
Yeah, love begins at home.
It really does.
Yeah. Because now, you know,
no.
You start.
That's how we experience love.
learn.
Yes,
Yeah.
we start at home.
Yeah, we learn to even love from home. We will be taking a break, but before we do that, because we have the news, I thought that after that song, we'll be going straight to the news. Here's a family member. Okay, Cookie Stefan, hello to you, my family, and my Gweningen. And she says, what a perfect topic. As if you're speaking into my heart. Please pray for myself and 3 siblings. We grew up in such difficult, painful circumstances. Now that we all grown up and God has blessed us with our own families, we do not share a healthy, happy relationship at all. My mom is caught up in this and is living with my cousin because we cannot resolve sibling issues. We all adults. This is hurting. Mom is 76. It's on me to find her a shelter after she lived with my sister for 30 years. Please advise, an advice before we go to the news.
Sure. You see, whatever those painful circumstances are, so basically they need to sit down and now go back and actually acknowledge each other's pain, because sometimes what makes us even more frustrating is you think your pain is more valid than my pain. And seems like when you say that the mother is caught up in all of this, so is there some sort of a jealousy factor happening there? Who should look after mom? Nobody wants to take a responsibility. Nobody wants to take accountability. So I think the best thing is actually for all 3 of them, including says there's 3, okay, including mom, they need to sit down and literally have a heart-to-heart. And have a heart-to-heart. Let's speak about it. Let us acknowledge that we have hurt each other. Let us accept that now we are grown. Now we view life in this different manner. And it's okay that we can come together and be a family, because we see what this is actually doing to mom. And mom is already old and frail. She should just be enjoying the grandchildren and enjoying the fruits of her children. You know, so I think a get together.
Okay.
And just be honest.
And get a mediator?
Mediator is perfect.
All right. Let's go to the 1 o'clock news bulletin. We're coming back with Dr. Mkhize.
657 Radio Pulpit News.
We're going to get our news coming there from Mike Potgieter vandag.
Good afternoon. I am Mike Potgieter. In this bulletin, 6 million people are anticipated to use SA ports this festive season. South Korea launches its first spy satellite, and cricket, Temba Bavuma and Kagiso Rabada won't play in the White Ball series against India. The Border Management Authority has initiated its festive season operations at 72 ports of entry, encompassing land, sea and airports. Addressing the media on the authority's preparedness for the festive season, Commissioner Michael Masiapatu said around 6 million people are anticipated to use the borders during this period. He says in response to the increased influx of migrants, additional human resources have been deployed to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of operations at the ports, ensuring a smooth process during the festive season.
In this period of 2023-2024, we anticipate about 6 million people who are supposed to be moving out of our ports in this period. Therefore, we will be deploying 380 additional personnel to the selected busiest ports of entry to assist with the delivery of services as well as the provision of technical support during this period.
Meanwhile, two-way passengers through the Cape Town International Airport's international terminal surpassed 2 million between January and October this year, exceeding pre-pandemic levels and growing by 57% when compared to the same period last year. On the domestic front, over 5.5 million two-way passengers passed through the airport's domestic terminal, an increase of 15%. MEC of Financial and Economic Opportunities, Marel Wenger, says tourism is a catalyst of economic growth and job creation.
We are also delighted to see two-way passengers through George Airport increasing by 3% year-on-year based on 22 numbers. We are very excited for the upcoming summer tourism season, which is shaping up to be truly impressive and possibly even record-breaking, as we are expecting 25% more international visitors than last season.
South Korea has successfully launched its inaugural military spy satellite into space from the Vandenberg Space Force base in California. Powered by SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket, this satellite marks the beginning of South Korea's ambitious plan to deploy a total of 5 spy satellites by 2025. Previously reliant on the United States surveillance capabilities, South Korea can now establish its independent space-based surveillance system to closely monitor North Korea's activities. This launch represents a significant milestone for the South Korean military's intelligence capabilities. Cricket. Themba Bavuma and Kagiso Rabada are rested and will not play for the Proteas in the white ball series against India. T20 captain Aiden Markram will also lead South Africa in the 3 one-day matches in Bavuma's absence. Wayne Parnell and Andrich Nortje are injured and weren't considered. White ball coach Rob Walters says it was decided to rest senior players as the emphasis will be on the 2 tests in Centurion and Cape Town. The first of the 3 T20s take place in Durban on Sunday. Financial indicators, the dollar trades at 18 Rand 70 cents and the euro at 20 Rand 35 cents. 1 British pound costs 23 Rand and 71 cents and Bitcoin trades at $41,677.08. Gold sells at $2,074.34 a fine ounce and Brent crude oil is quoted at $77.80 a barrel. And finally, the City of Cape Town's Public Awareness, Communication and Education team, together with Bingo, the anti-litter mascot, will be visiting various beaches as part of the city's festive season waste awareness program. The team will be visiting 10 major beaches to help discourage littering. Mayoral Committee member for Urban Waste Management, Grant Twig, says during the visit, the team will be running a program of fun games and activities like volleyball with Bingo, music and dance, with great prizes for all participants.
As a city, we are calling on local residents and visitors to have fun in the sun, but also please respect our beaches, please respect one another and our recreational areas this festive season. Please don't litter.
Stay tuned for more news.
.657 traffic.
Thanks to Mike Potgieter with the 1 o'clock news bulletin. And now for your traffic update. If you are on our roads in Gauteng, at Boysons on M1 northbound, there's a crash at Crown Interchange, and that's the skewing traffic. At Baklu on N1 southbound, there's a crash as well. Before Baklu Interchange, the left lane closed right there, so be cautious as you're approaching. There's load shedding in Johannesburg, affecting Brixton, Amalgam, Mayfair, Crown City, Auckland Park, Melville, Newlands. Up until 14 hours, there's There's load shedding in Fourways, there's load shedding in Sandton, there's load shedding in Bryanston, and in Bruma at Albertina Sisulu Road. Traffic lights are not working at Alum Road, coming down to Winter Vreden Park at Jim Fosh Road. Traffic lights are not working there at Without Avenue. There's load shedding in Johannesburg South affecting Glen Vista, Malberton up until 14 hours. There's load shedding in Midrand, and in Midrand on New Road, traffic lights not working at the N1 highway. Coming down to Centurion at the Brackfontein Road, traffic lights not working at the Oliver Hout Bosch Avenue, and at Irene there's load shedding up until 14 hours. In Pretoria East at Garsfontein, Mandlin, Kezina, Rietfontein, Queenswood, Wonderboom South, there's load shedding even at Eastras, Silverton, Waterloo up until 14 hours. Still in Pretoria on the N1 southbound, there's a crash before Rachel Avenue, left lane closed, so you might find that there's low moving traffic in that space, and so drive with caution as you're approaching. On the Mabopani Highway inbound, there's a crash at the Happy Bend, and that's the skewing traffic. And at the N4 eastbound, there's a crash again before the Dr. Swanepoel Road exit, and that's the skewing traffic. My family, be safe out there. Drive with caution, and yes, be patient on the road. Do remember that if you're stuck in traffic that I'm not mentioning, you can dial the 084 GEM line. Do remember that normal rates do apply at all times.
Sukkel jy om te hoor in geraas? Ons kan help. By die Oorinstituut waarborg ons jou gehoor sal verbeter of ons betaal jou geld terug. Ons het takke reg deur Suid-Afrika en Namibië, en ons professionele span sal jou die beste advies bied. Besoek oorinstituut.co.za vir jou naaste tak. Oorinstituut. Dis waar uitstekende gehoor begin. Wees en wees geld.
Fumana inkuthazo imihla yonke. Sikhona kuFacebook. Ngena ube ngumhlobo nawe. iRadio Pulpit Facebook yeyoluntu lonke.
The Bible teaches us that we must build one another up in love. And here at Radio Pulpit and Radio K Pulpit, we encourage mutual love and respect in a country of diversity. Help us to continue building strong and unified communities by sending an SMS with the word GIVE and the amount you wish to give to 37871. Standard rates apply.
You're listening to Heart. I'm Sibongile Mofokeng with you up until 3 o'clock. Gave you the sounds of Ayanda Ndanzi, Uyapila, and it's 15 minutes just after 1. And yes, my family, we are truly grateful for your support during our Videothon. We had Videothon last week. If you just joined us and you're like, Video what? Yeah, we had Videothon last week. And it lasted from Tuesday up until... I know Bahle and Ray were still continuing yesterday, and you make it possible for us to continue to bring a message of truth and hope to our nation. Thank you for that. May God awesomely bless you. And let me just take a moment to also thank Martha Khokong. I see your 500 rands. May the Lord really, really bless you. And I see your last digits are 222. You also gave 250. May the Lord bless you. And so for those family members who missed out on our Videothon last week and still want to give, please send us an SMS with the word give to 37871, followed by your name and the amount you wish to give. You can also send that to 082-657-2729. We are building together. Together we can build a brighter future. And I did mention that we are building families like we are doing today with Dr. Mkhize.
Yes, we are building.
Yeah.
Keep giving. It
Yeah.
is the season for giving.
Thank you.
You know?
It is the season for giving.
It is the season for giving. So let the people give, because indeed we are building, and we are building a very big family.
Yeah. And Radio Pulpit, these are the programs that we bring to Radio Pulpit, where in church we can talk about these things.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to appear good. Pastor shouldn't know that I don't talk to Sibongile. Pastor shouldn't know. So the pastor thinks everything is going right. Kati.
Hey, back
And
at home.
I love that those children, who'd become pests to their parents. Why aren't we going to Auntie Sibongile? Why aren't we talking to Auntie Sibongile? Like for almost their whole life, they're asking you about it.
Yeah. Like,
Troubling you.
Why?
Mama, why? Oh, Mom. Now I want to go.
But no, they should not know. How when now you end up the poor child being sent to the naughty corner because now. But why are we not?
But why are we not?
Yeah.
And Cookie says, thank you. Thanks a million for that response. 3 siblings. Thank you so much. And family, you can send in your questions, your comments. The lines are open to 082-657-2729, 37871, and 082-657-2729. We'd like to hear from you. What about the couples? We said we're coming back for the couples.
Oh, the couples, they really need to hug it out. Honestly, they need to go on a date.
Yeah.
They need to
start afresh.
Can we reset the button?
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about families. My thing is always, if you're going to be fighting with your family, imagine now you've got the stranger. So that's actually
the stranger who has become a family member.
Who's become a family member, like now you're a stranger and we're not always going to see eye to eye. But not talking, it's also a communication. Not using your words.
Because your nonverbal cues speak louder.
It speaks a whole lot louder than the words. The words might hurt, but nonverbal communication, it says a lot. So we need to find, honestly, for couples, I think date nights, depending on what the situation is. If we just really angry at each other because you went to watch the rugby last week and you came back like 2 hours late, apologize. There is nothing wrong. There is no sin with apologizing.
Yeah.
Apologize. And sometimes accountability. Because sometimes we don't want to take accountability. We just think that somebody's angry just because today they woke up and decided that they're going to be angry at you. No, take accountability. I've done something wrong and apologize. You know, for the guys, they always say you must always have an extra "I'm sorry" in your back pocket because every day, I'm sorry. Every day, I'm sorry. So always, even when you didn't do nothing, I'm sorry. Happy wife, happy life. But on a far more serious note, if couple issues, also a mediator, they can go and see their church elders, or they can go. Not a big advocate of when we having problems, we need to go to our families. As much as tradition says this is what we need to do. But
the
also,
word doesn't say that.
Yeah, but we need to go, let's go seek, let's seek a mediator. Let's seek somebody that we both respect. Somebody who's not from this side of this family and this side of the family. Because trust me, if you hurt my child, I will take my child's side. Regardless of what she might have said or anything, for the fact that
some, even when their children are the wrong ones, they still take
I
this
will,
child's
because
side.
this child is coming to me and saying, "Mama, hey,
I've carried this one for 9 months.
No,
I raised
this one."
Yeah.
So automatically, it's very easy for us to be biased. So I'd always advise them seek help outside of the family. Somebody that you're both going to hear, somebody who's not afraid to tell you both the truth on what it is. Because sometimes we're really just angry because, I think that I'm correct. There are people who don't even know that they are wrong 90% of the time. For them, they're always right. Everything, they're always right. They're never wrong, always right. And don't you dare tell them to apologize for what? I'm always right. So they put themselves in a pedestal
That's
to
not
nowhere.
normal right there.
So they need some
I'm sorry to
people-
use the words, but that's not normal right there.
For them, it's very normal. They can't even stand anything outside of you telling them that they are wrong.
Okay, here's a family member here who says, "Shalom, my queens. What if you're always blamed for everything going wrong?" Now, it means that this person is dealing with somebody who's always right. So,
Exactly.
what do you do with that?
know?
If you find yourself blamed for that all the time, like everything that, if a glass breaks, then yeah,
it's you. Hey, it's you. We know it's you. Tina Sibongile futhi kon. Sibongile, put it class. It wasn't me. But sizotin. So with people that are always right, or you're always being blamed, I always say that pick your battles, because it's very hard. And other than that person having to accept that they are not always right, really pick your battles. There are some things that are just not.
But some
worth-
things are hurtful. If I'm always blamed, and you don't even see yourself when you are wrong, but you always blame me.
Communication. Find a way to express that. So half the time when we start using the words, especially if somebody has already blamed you for something, we tend to clash. We tend to now be shouting, screaming at each other, using unsavory words. I say there is WhatsApps today. Take a pen and paper, write it down, where somebody would have to read it. If I'm going to send you a WhatsApp,
Dr. Mkhize, I'm going to look you through my classes
Yeah,
like this. Do
you
you
want to
know
read
that
it.
we scream on WhatsApp?
we can scream on WhatsApp, but you're going to read it and you're going to hear me.
Okay.
Because people that are always blamed, half the time they don't get the chance to even
To
defend
explain
themselves or
themselves.
explain a situation or express. You the one that did this thing, and that's the end of that. So find a way
They're
to
never
let the
given
other
that.
person know. And sometimes, especially in siblings, the older siblings, they always have to take the blame. And even when they try to express themselves verbally, what do we always say? Hayi umdala, you should be able to handle that situation.
And with the
Just
young
take
ones,
it.
they don't care, those
The
ones.
young ones, they can
They
get
don't
away
care.
with it. Sometimes they even do it because they know that you're going
They're
to get
so
blamed
carefree.
for it.
They're so carefree.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So find other means of communication.
Okay.
Write it down in a letter, write it down in a card, like, you actually hurt my feelings. I wanted to tell you that I didn't do
But
this
now,
and
all
this
right,
and
how
this.
do you deal then with the fact that that person might take offense at that? Or it doesn't matter as long as they've read it?
For me, if they take offense, then now we start questioning. Do you actually have a problem with this individual that you're constantly blaming? Because even when they try to express that they did not do this or whatever their situation was, you the one that's fighting with them, but you're the one that's taking offense. Now let's start questioning, what is the motive? Why are you bullying this poor child? Everything you keep blaming on this child. So we start now looking at you. What are the real issues? Because now that sounds like there's an underlying issue that you are always blaming this person. So are you now putting that person into a trap? You know, there are people that will trap you for no reason at all so that they can actually blame you. And once you take in the blame, they are satisfied. So there is a narcissistic behavior there. So we need to start now looking at you. What is the person that you've written this letter to? We need to sit down with them and try and figure out what is it, because it's not just on the surface like you always just been blamed. So the first thing, it would be, if you cannot express yourself verbally, then write it down. Let that person know. Either way, they are going to read it, and that's what matters. Now, their reaction from that, it's either they can come and say, listen, well, I'm sorry, this is what I thought you did, or I understand and accept it. If now they start like, you're offending me, of course you did this, and still fighting, there's more to it.
Ooh, okay. All right. Cookie seems like it seems like Cookie is the firstborn. Mkhize, are you the firstborn?
No shame, man. We need to take it. Guys, can we please just take care of our firstborns? Buy them that sucker, that ice cream. They become the deputy parents. Everything that is wrong, it starts with them,
And she says, amen. Elder ones take the bullet. All right. A family member says, Sibongile and Dr. Sibo, you spoke about hate. How do you deal with hate in a family where sisters don't agree and they've grown to hate each other?
Hate is a very passionate word. So is it really hate, and what had happened for it to be now
to get to that
hate?
point?
There's one thing that we may not speak to each other or dislike each other, but once you hate somebody, it's much more aggressive. So for me, that tells me that whatever that had happened, it was very traumatic. You'd hate somebody that would kill your child, but I would dislike my sister because we had a disagreement of some sort. So for me,
She
hate
stole
is a
my
very,
boyfriend.
She
stole my boyfriend.
Like, oh my goodness me. It's not enough for me to hate. Hate is the very last
Yeah, but what
order.
I've seen about many families is that you might pick it up as hate, and yet it's not.
It's really not. We just simply don't like each other. You must remember that once we grow, we are taught to have good relations with each other as when we are kids. Get along, go play with other kids, we are brought together.
Yeah.
But as we grow up, you might now develop toxic, traits along in life. And now that I've also now developed my own traits in life, there is no way that if we need to have a relationship. But we can get along as a family because we need to be there. We can support each other even without having that kind of a relationship. Because why should I now be punished by your toxic traits because we are family? Some things, some people, they should not be in a family structure because they just, brew toxicity. So it's okay for you not to have the relationship. And the relationship I'm talking about, we're going to be calling each other every day, checking on each other and doing all those things.
What comes into my mind right now is I'm reminded of somebody who used to talk to me some years back. And I found there are many people like that also who feel that their parents don't love them.
But there are a lot of parents that do not love their children.
Yeah, ever since they were young, the treatment, the words. And I remember her saying to me, my mom would say, I should have killed you. You shouldn't be here. You should be grateful that you are here. Yeah. And I remember her trying to bring some peace in the midst of that. I haven't spoken to her in years now. And I remember I've been trying to trace her recently, but I couldn't find. And she would even call when we would be having such talks and say, but how do I deal with this? So what advice, if there is hate in a family, be it amongst the siblings, be it the mother or father to the daughter or to the son or to the children?
Unfortunately, in a situation like that is acceptance.
Okay.
That big word, sometimes we need to accept that this is how people are. We can't change them. And for her, she's got a whole entire evidence that is called her life. Clearly, the mom is not going to change anytime soon. Clearly. So we thank God that she's grown now. She can make her own decisions. She can actually find help to actually say that it was not about you. Your mom has got her own regrets about having her, but it's all on her. That is her regret. You are not a regret. She just regrets the situation that she was in. I'm sorry.
Let's
Sorry.
do this, and then we would come back to Dr. Mkhize. Yes, family, the lines are still open for you. You can talk to us on 082 657 2729. It's 082 657 2729. The lines are open. You can talk to us in studio. You can share your comments. You can ask your questions. We'd love to hear from you. Yes, you were still saying, Doctor?
My apologies for that.
No, it's okay. It happens. Yeah.
So I was saying that sometimes you just need to accept that, okay, that is that person.
So I can't change that.
Okay. And titles.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've found that a lot of people within my practice, it helps. It's time you detach from the title, because the title of mother comes with certain expectation.
Can I also leave my sister then?
Yes, you can. You know?
Or my brother?
You can, because at the end of the day, it is your life. You want happiness. She even reached out to try and make peace of whatever that was happening.
Yeah, over the years, I remember she would say that on
it must
air.
have been a long time, because if she can recall ever since she was young, and clearly it's still happening, at some point, you also need to be accountable for your own life. I need to be happy. I need to live this. This individual, because like I said, we need to detach from the titles. As soon as you say mom, there's certain expectation. So now start to look at her as a female that is going through her own thing.
All right.
She's got her own
and
struggles.
Pray for her and leave it to the,
you know,
in the hands
and
of the
leave it
Lord.
to that. For me, thank God I had a mother to bring me into this world, but that mother has now had to retire. I have to now mother myself. I am grown now. I need to love myself. I need to support myself. I need to comfort myself. You know, so that detachment and accepting that there is really not much that I am going to ever do, because all my life, this is how it has been. So
With
it
your
is
sister,
okay
how do you
to
do that?
let go. And when you start to let go and you start to now focus on you and your healing, that hate, it starts to melt away. And once you start seeing people as human beings, minus their titles, as if she could look at her mom and see a female that was struggling, it could be PTS, it could be whatever the regret are, as a human being, she'd even start to feel sorry for her. That now I understand what you were going through. I'm no longer that child. Remember that you were not the problem. She has a problem, but you are not that problem. So the thing is, because she has been trained that she is a problem, she's constantly trying to fix it, constantly trying to find approval.
Because I was going
fix
to
it.
ask you, why do we find ourselves chasing after those who do not care about us most of the times? And
because if we don't find mother's
but we
love,
want to
if my
fix.
own mother cannot love me, something is wrong. So I gotta do better.
So you want to fix it.
Yes, you become a people pleaser.
So you leave it at the hands of the Lord Jesus.
Amen.
All right, we are coming back, taking the sound of Toby Mac this Christmas.
You're at 657 AM. Radio carrying 24 hours a day. 657 AM.
Mamela inkqubo iHeart to Heart no-Ayanda Nenemba rhoqo ngoLwesithathu ukusukela ku-12 to 3 p.m. sishukuxa ezempilo, ezokuhlala nezoluntu. Sithi chatha nomculo othomalalisa inhliziyo. Vuseleleka ku-Heart to Heart qho ngoLwesithathu ngo-12 to 3 emalanga. Mamela ku-Radio Pulpit 657 AM okanye ufumane i-podcast ku-radiopulpit.co.za.
This is Heart to Heart with Sibongile Mofokeng on Radio Pulpit. Heart to Heart.
I'd like to acknowledge Pietra Small, Exin Ime Kuaningen, and here Frank Jacobs. Thank you so much for joining in and being with us, and for all family members who are with us at this current moment in time. Give you the sounds of Toby Mac this Christmas. It's already the season.
Can you believe it?
They see you on Facebook going like, yeah. You love the season.
I love the season. Oh my goodness me.
Are you going to be off from work during the season or gafana?
Hey, gafana in my line of work. Eh? In my line of work, gafana. We try and close down, but hey.
But there's this thing, this special thing, even in the air.
Yeah, like,
there's this joy. Yeah.
You know, from when I was young, I think actually I must say, thank God to my grandmother, because I think she's the one that installed the spirit of Christmas in us.
Oh my.
You know, because we used to get, the gifts and everything else. But guess what? We'd have the best chicken in Christmas.
And bring the family together.
Oh.
So you knew which bomzala bakhona.
And you get the new clothes. We come from that era. See, it exposes how old we are. You know, when you're still getting new clothes for Christmas. And we were even so excited to even get stationery. You're going to get a new pencil? Oh, my word.
For us, it was traveling.
This is it.
For us, it was more traveling. For us, it was more traveling, seeing other family relatives. Yeah, that was Christmas for us. Yeah.
No, we loved it. I loved Christmas. And we get to stay up late.
Oh my.
Hey. Ooh.
I see you.
We had
you still stay up late during this festive.
So it's the little joys that actually make the season. So as soon as now we're getting to the year, I'm like a little kid. Yes, it's Christmas. Yes. Yes, let's do this thing. So if you're having a Christmas lunch, please send an invite. I'm here.
All right. My queen. So what are we saying to family where forgiveness is concerned?
I'm saying as it is a season of gifting. The biggest gift we can give in our families is forgiveness. And true forgiveness. Can we forgive each other for hurting each other? Can we forgive each other for not being there, for not understanding each other? And we need to understand that as we grow in families, how we perceive things, it might be different from the time we were kids. What hurts me today, it might seem trivial to you tomorrow because you've worked through things. Can we be patient with each other? And truly, this is the time of giving. If you know that you've got your loved one that you haven't seen in a long time, a phone call could change everything, you know? You'll find out that now they've got kids. Bring those kids along. It is the season of family. It is the season of love.
All right.
So I encourage everybody, if there's one gift that you want to give your family, give them a reason to smile. Give them a reason to have a home. How important a home is. Give them a reason to want to come back home. And I think one of the biggest gifts we can give anybody is forgiveness.
A family member says, Sibongile, my sister and I were at feud and we recently made up, but I always feel guilty when I see her. She's okay, carefree, enjoying my presence, but I always feel guilty. Please advise.
Honestly, forgive yourself. You guys have made the peace. And that guilt feeling, it will also now, you're bringing a new element to keep you guys apart. Because the more you feel guilty, the more you want to avoid her. And, you know, now we've made the peace. It's time to forgive yourself. Work on yourself. Whatever it was.
Are we too
if you
hard
feel
on
like,
ourselves? Are we too hard on ourselves?
Sometimes we are. Sometimes we are. very hard on it. Like with her, I mean, if the sister is happy and they're both getting along just well, I think she is a little bit too hard on her, unless there is other things that she feels guilty that maybe were not revealed to the sister and she's still feeling guilty. But if everything was said and the peace was made, it's time to forgive yourself for whatever it is that you did to your sister, because she has accepted you and has welcomed and embracing you. So it's time you let that go and you forgive yourself. Give it to the Lord. You don't even need to go to her and profess your forgiveness, but you need to forgive yourself and just let it be.
You don't need to go to her.
You don't need to go to her.
Yeah. So it's now about you.
Now it's a personal thing, because she's fine and everything is well. So like I said, unless there is other things that you feel, I didn't tell the whole truth, or we didn't make up for everything, and now I kind of feel bad that, yes, it was me who stole your boyfriend. Now I feel guilty every time I see you all happy. Deal with yourself. Now it's a personal thing now. You need to forgive yourself, and you don't even need to go to her and now be telling her, why start another feud, because you've got your own.
So is it like you're starting your own feud now against you?
Against yourself.
Oh, okay.
So if everything has been said, but you are feeling guilty, it's time to forgive yourself and let it be. Enjoy your sister. Enjoy the fact that at least you guys came together, and be happy for each other. If you need her support, maybe, but my advice would be deal with yourself.
All right. So in closure for vandag.
Yes.
Wat sê ons?
We're saying it's Christmas, guys. Come on. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. It
might have been a
it's
tough year.
Excitement. It's kindness. And if we are going to show the whole entire world kindness, why would we not want that at home? Where did we learn kindness from? We learned it from home. So let's be kind to each other. Let's respect each other. Let's be accountable for each other. So in closing, I'm saying it's time to go back home. It's time to go back home. Even if there is peace right now, there's nothing wrong with calling a family member, sending a message and telling them, I love you, I miss you, you are important to me, you matter, you're part of my family. So whatever that family looks like, it's important that you have that, because at the end of the day, if we don't have family, who do we have?
Thank you so much for coming through and ministering unto the family.
Thank you.
And it's time for forgiveness. May the Lord help us in this space. I know that a lot of us find it difficult. We want to hold on to the anger. But there's something that you mentioned earlier on that we shouldn't forget. You might be holding on to the anger, but you don't know how much that person has leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, it might be that you might fix, or let's say you talk to the person and it might be the last time you see that person.
That is so
It
true.
might be the last time you see that person. So let's make sure that we are really, really, really fixing matters with our family members. So for families who would like, or family members of Radio Pulpit who would like to talk to you, Dr. Mkhize, how do we get hold of you?
You can get hold of me on 081 374 5325.
Say that again.
081 374 5325.
So are there times that we should call, or we can call it anytime?
You can call it anytime. Our office are open from 9 till 6 o'clock in the evening. So anytime then, make an appointment and we'll make the booking for you. Yes. And while we're in the spirit of families, my little girl is graduating.
Oh, congratulations. When?
Today.
And you here?
Yeah, my Lisedi. Oh, my Lisedi Mkhize. Oh, I love you, my Nunu Pie.
Oh, wait, but you're here.
Yes.
So you missed it.
No, there's this thing we call videos. So trust me, today it will be popcorn and watching the whole ceremony
How old
600
is she?
times. She's 5 years old.
Oh, congratulations to Melissa. We wish her all the best as she'll be continuing on her journey. Thank you so much, my queen, for coming through. May God awesomely bless you and bless Melissa. Have a great festive season.
Indeed.
So it means we're meeting you next year, Mus.
Definitely.
Yo, ne. I thought we still had time.
No, time is gone.